Hey everybody! So, some of the biggest new road bumps in Vermintide II are the new monster bosses that can spawn. In 1, we really only had to worry about the Rat Ogre, but now there's a lot more variety. And some of these guys are bona fide badasses, so I wanted to get a really quick early video out to talk about how we handle them. As usual, Loon's got the video.
We'll start with the Rat Ogre, because we all know him, and he's only got one difference in this game versus Vermintide 1. Every boss has a well, except for the troll that we'll be seeing later, every boss has a series of attacks that can just be easily blocked.
There he is. He was a little shy.
In the Rat Ogre's case, he pounds on the ground 3 times while moving towards someone, and that's exactly when you need to block. The ground pounds right there go through your guard and damage you, so you need to be away from that. That's still blockable, and as you can see, this is the blockable attack where he kind of just goes towards you. But fighting him is not really any different. If anything, he's a lot easier for the inclusion of that attack because it's just more time for the team to wail on him.
Yeah, his ground pound attack also comes out much more slowly, so it's much easier to avoid damage.
The Storm Fiend is the armored Rat Ogre, equipped with 2 warp fire throwers on its arms. Its head is armored, but you can still do a lot of damage with sniping weapons. But the real weak spot is the brain rat Krang on its back there. But every time you attack it, it will turn and try to swipe you away, so you gotta really work in tandem with the team here. Otherwise, he's really predictable. If you're in an open area, this guy really can't do anything to you.
Yeah, the Storm Fiend is one of those bosses that you will underestimate because you fought him in big, wide-open areas and he's been a complete chump. And then the one time he happens to spawn in a thick corridor, oh my lord, you will hate this guy. The biggest thing that I can say, if he spawns in a corridor, try to back up to the area where you have the most room to maneuver. You've got to get behind him.
That's the same with any boss. Just, you need open area, and if you get an open area, then otherwise you're going to be left with trying to time his fire so that you can get it to all come near each other. The Bile Troll is brand new. This is...
Holy buckets, is this guy a problem?
He can be. If that vomit hits you directly, it will splatter your screen. You will be stuck in that vomit, moving slowly, having your health and stamina drain.
And you're just because of the stamina drain, you will not be able to block if he comes back to follow up.
Well, even if you do block, all of his attacks go through guards.
At least to some extent.
Now you need to burst this guy down as quickly as possible because he gains what basically amounts to iframes by falling on his knees and regenerating, and then losing the incremental health. You've got to take him down as quick. The troll goal is to take him down.
And
he didn't pay no toll, so he ain't gonna eat no roll.
True story. He can be really difficult to burst down, though, precisely because of his stagger there. Get in there and murder the crap out of him as soon as possible. If he's got a horde around him, then have somebody just entertain him with a ballerina show while you handle all of the other distractions. This guy needs to be prioritized.
Oh, and despite popular belief, the troll is not got some weakness to fire, as you might expect.
Yeah, they do.
Makes sense because one person is made of fire.
They do in the tabletop. They don't in Vermintide. Now this mash of wriggling flesh.
He's the most dangerous because he's always aggressive, and if he grabs hold of somebody, he will restore a chunk of his health, and you need a bomb or a number of certain active skills to stagger him and force him to drop that person. His weak spot is the mouth on the front, but you only have a good angle when you're being chased, and only a few weapons can take advantage of that situation at all. He is...
Unfortunately, you really can't rely on it.
You can't rely on a whole lot. That's what makes him the most dangerous. He attacks with a blockable 3-hit, and sometimes 4-hit pound combo. Sometimes he will stand in place and pound on the ground, which goes through guard, of course.
And basically, when you see him reel back with his tentacle arm like that, that is when he's going to grab you. Bots have a difficult time handling that, but you're a human. Look at it and dodge backward.
Don't dodge to the side, because it will still
Do
grab
not
you.
dodge to the side. That guy will still grab you with that noodle arm. But if you dodge backward, you'll get around it. Your teammates will have a big amount of time to beat on him as he recovers from the blow, and he won't heal. And he also won't slam you around and throw you like this.
There's one skill that the Elf Shade possesses where enemies who disable or take double damage, essentially. And I'm wondering if they designed that specifically with regard to the Chaos Spawn. Be a punching bag so that maybe you can kill it faster.
Seems...
I don't like taking damage, and I don't like being a punching bag in Vermintide, so I don't think I'll ever entertain the idea of that being a valid strategy.
I think that you could do enough damage to the guy to really make it worth the damage he heals, because he heals a substantial amount munching on somebody's face.
There is one other thing you can do with bosses. You have a lot more health and you take a lot less damage when you're downed in some cases. And bosses prioritize guys who are on the ground, so you can just kind of use a down teammate as a good way to land those free hits in. Because he won't affect any... Yeah, bait. I wouldn't recommend it entirely, but it's something that you can utilize if you're having a little bit of trouble.
Particularly if you're paying attention, just be like, oh, hey, that bleed out is getting kind of low. Just pick him back up. Block... Reviving still works.
I feel like this is the best thing I can do without any specific tools to really get into detail on enemies. I don't have the time to just run around looking for rare Berserker enemies to do this thing with that are just going to get murked the second they approach us. So, as always, thank you for watching.
Take good care of yourselves, everybody. Try not to die to these big monster badasses.